How can satire reveal the underpinnings of authoritarian ideologies? And in what ways might it function as a meaningful form of resistance? My name is Scott Spector. I'm a professor of history, Germanic studies, and Judaic studies at the University of Michigan. The Great Dictator was filmed in Hollywood in Chaplin Studios, but is lampooning the authoritarian regime of the National Socialists in Berlin. The main characters in this module are Charlie Chaplin, who wrote, directed, and acted in The Great Dictator, from which this clip is taken. Adenoid Hynkel is the fascist dictator whom he plays, and he also plays Hynkel's double, a Jewish barber. Garbage is the Goebbels figure, who is Hynkel's propaganda minister and is also in this clip. Satire serves as a meaningful form of resistance to authoritarianism in a lot of different ways. Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator from 1940 stands as one of the most powerful and successful examples of this tradition. Chaplin wrote, produced, and financed the film himself at considerable personal and professional risk. At the time, the major Hollywood studios were reluctant to sponsor projects that might provoke controversy. Filmed just as war was breaking out in Europe, the movie openly mocked Adolf Hitler at a moment when many political leaders were still treading very cautiously. The film, that was Chaplin's first feature-length sound film, centers on the case of mistaken identity between an amnesiac Jewish barber and his identical double, the fascist dictator Adenoid Hynkel. Today, it's difficult to imagine the audacity of such a direct satirical attempt on an ascendant authoritarian leader. Just like other cultural forms, satire provides a distinctive historical insight. One of the film's most iconic sequences is the Globe scene, where the fascist dictator dances alone in his office to the prelude from Wagner's Lohengrin, playfully tossing around an inflated globe into the air until it bursts. The dance scene follows a conversation between Hynkel and his propaganda minister Garbage, in which the dictator's obsession with annihilating Jews expands to include brunettes, exposing the absurd logic of authoritarian racial fantasies. Here's how the conversation goes. Hynkel, a nation of blue-eyed blondes. Garbage, why not a blonde Europe, a blonde Asia, a blonde America? Hynkel, a blonde world. Garbage, and a brunette dictator. You can see what kind of mockery this is of the whole ideology of Aryan supremacy. The fantasy of world domination triggers a manic episode in Hynkel. This moment transforms ideological fantasy into physical performance. Chaplin's satire lays bare the ideological absurdities that underpin this authoritarianism. The dictator's romance with the globe exposes domination as childish, erotic, unstable, and ultimately fragile. The bursting of the globe signals the inevitable collapse of these delusions. The film also lampoons Nazi propaganda aesthetics and undermines racial ideology through the interchangeability of the Jewish barber and the dictator. Nazism's claims about race as essence are revealed as learned, performative, ridiculous. Nazi propaganda outlets attacked Chaplin as a decadent Jew, in spite of the fact that there's no confirmed evidence that he did come from a Jewish family. Chaplin never denied the accusation, though. To do so would have meant accepting the racialist logic on its own terms. So let's go a little deeper to talk about how to teach a module like this. The Globe scene raises broader questions about how authoritarian ideologies function and how satire makes them visible. Students can explore how mass politics depend on ideologies that present authoritarian objectives as natural or as common sense. What role do popular media and culture play in shaping these understandings? How does satire interrupt or undermine them? What makes it funny? How is it that the humor of the piece lampoons authoritarian figures in ways that are threatening to them? What does it do to what they're trying to say about the way the world works that is threatening to people so that they don't want such humor to be in the public sphere?